Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Have you ever wondered why recovery from a serious brain injury is so difficult? Especially when you are just trying to remember daily tasks or finish simple chores around the house. When someone experiences a traumatic brain injury, the parts of their brain responsible for planning and initiating tasks often take a massive hit. It is like trying to run an office with a computer that keeps crashing, except the computer is your own mind. Most rehabilitation programs ask survivors to be the managers of their own recovery. They have to remember to use tools, stay on schedule, and manage their own behavior. But what if the very thing you need to use to get better is the thing that is damaged? That is where environmental approaches come in. Instead of asking the survivor to change, we change the environment around them. Think of it like putting guardrails on a highway. You do not need to be a professional driver to avoid falling off the road if the guardrails are solid and in the right place. These approaches use things like prompts or train partners to do the heavy lifting for the person's struggling brain. A team of researchers decided to see if this actually works. They looked back through tons of medical records to find experiments called randomized controlled trials. These are the gold standard in science. They basically split people into two groups, gave one group the intervention, and watched to see what happened. If you see a p-value mentioned in studies like this, think of it as a flukometer. A lower number means the result is likely not just a random coincidence or a lucky guess. They found 5 solid studies that tested these environmental tricks. The first type of intervention was digital prompting. Imagine having a digital assistant that knows exactly when you need to do something, like cooking dinner or taking medication, and sends you a nudge to get you moving. In one study, they used a pager system to help people complete tasks, and the results were clear. People were getting more things done. They were not relying on their own faulty memory to initiate the action, because the environment gave them the cue they needed. Another study looked at a smart kitchen. It had sensors that could track what someone was doing. And if they got stuck, the system would automatically provide a prompt to guide them to the next step. It sounds like science fiction, but it was actually helping people be more independent. The second type of intervention was all about communication. After a brain injury, conversations can get messy. People might struggle to follow social cues or lose their spot in a dialogue. The researchers found studies where they did not train the person with the injury to be a better communicator. Instead, they trained the people they talked to, like paid carers or even police officers. They basically taught these partners how to create a communicative environment that helps the person with a TBI show what they really know. It is about revealing their competence rather than highlighting their struggles. After the training, the conversations were smoother, more efficient, and way less frustrating. Now, we have to keep our feet on the ground. This research is definitely promising, but it is not perfect. The studies were quite small, and sometimes the way they tested things made it hard to be certain about the results. For example, in many of these studies, you could not really blind the participants. That means the people taking part knew they were getting the special training, which might make them try harder just because they know they are being watched. Also, we do not know how long these gains last for everyone. Most of these studies did not look at what happened months or years down the road. So, where does this leave us? I think the real takeaway here is that we need to stop thinking about brain injury as a problem that only the patient needs to fix. If we build our homes, our tools, and our social interactions to be more supportive, we can shift the burden away from the exhausted brain of the survivor. It is a subtle but massive change in perspective. If you are a clinician, think about how you can adapt the environment instead of just giving the patient more homework. If you are living with a TBI or caring for someone, look for those small environmental tweaks that eliminate the need to remember and replace it with a system that simply guides. This is an exciting area of science because it is so practical. In the future, I would love to see more research on how we can use common tech like smart speakers or phone apps to act as these environmental guardrails for everyone, not just those in big research hospitals. There might be a huge opportunity to boost independence with tech we already have sitting in our pockets. I want to know what you think. Does this approach of changing the environment make more sense to you than traditional therapy? Or do you think both are needed to really get back to feeling like yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab. We are going to keep digging through the science to find the stories that actually matter to your life. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.